All right, hello, welcome back to the stream, everybody. So today we're going to be working on that combat rewards screen that I ended the stream with last night, or yesterday morning, I guess. Haven't been really working on the game during the afternoons because I've been doing other things, editing videos, code review videos, for instance, and also doing some work on my new course that's coming out, the Godot networked multiplayer course. So I'm working on producing that as well. So the development on this game has slowed down a little bit, obviously, because I need to make time to do that stuff. But that's okay. Before I get into what we'll be working on exactly, or get into the work, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for purchase. It's my first real release as a full-time indie game developer. So you can pick it up for $8.99 USD or at a discount if you pick it up as part of a bundle. And I also have my Udemy courses available for sale. These will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine from scratch. This one is the GD script course, but I also have a C# course. So all of the links for those things are in the description below. And without further ado, we can get into it. Hello, Kiniaz, welcome. Greetings, Grave Lover. Welcome, Greg. Good to see you again. Hello, Lukey. Nothing, they're free of charge. What a funny punchline, Adam. You always have the best jokes. Welcome, welcome. Kesha, hi, welcome. Strategically starting your stream right as I have DSA quiz. As always, I see. What is DSA quiz? Anyway, yes, I am strategically organizing my streams to be maximally annoying to you. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna just continue on. I left off doing this chest yesterday, and the idea is that so there's combat rewards now, where each combat encounter will guaranteed drop a certain type of card, but then it will also perhaps guarantee an event type will show up, and it will also what will it also do? Potentially drop artifacts. So let's see if I can just show that real quick. Critical multiplier. Upgrade a card. Kerblam, kerblam. Go here. Ooh, this one like drops artifacts here. So if I do this, I can do that. And that. Begin. Let's auto-resolve. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it broke. Oh, you know what? I wonder if maybe the code's in a bad spot right now. Uh-oh. Okay, well, we're gonna ignore that for now. Okay, we're gonna ignore that for now. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna probably just, I don't know, finish the art is a strong word. I don't know if I'll finish it, but get the art in a good place for sure. Why did that not work? So we'll get this chest looking decent, and then we'll try to implement it in the game. I think that looks a little bit better. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think that will work. I'm just trying to maybe add some depth here. I wonder if I should just make this like a doubled up. kind of like that. We'll see how that works. Data structures and algorithms. Oh, I see. Doesn't see angels. Well, that would make most of us, I think. I was close. Yeah, you were close. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. Always good to have you lurking. Yes, he is on it indeed. Hello, T-Matt. A while ago, you mentioned trying out Cursor or other agentic AI workflows. Did they actually impact your work in any way? I'm a bit skeptical of them, yet more and more people say it helps. Any take? Yeah, I use the agentic AI not to write necessarily the gameplay systems, but there's this method I have in here called TheRelaxedMovement here. So I basically just said, hey, AI, I need a method that takes a number and converts it to a Roman numeral, and it wrote that for me. So doing things like that, where it's like, I don't really care how the Roman numeral algorithm works, and I don't want to go to Stack Overflow and like find whatever somebody has written. I can just write in my IDE, just say, add this method that does X, Y, and Z thing. And the AI is generally pretty good at that. Where the agentic AI tends to break down is when you try to have it like architect a bunch of stuff at once. You can make that work, but typically what needs to happen is you need to go through and edit or tweak the things that it wrote. Generally speaking, it doesn't create code that is that great out of the box. So what I do is I have it do rote tasks for me. Sometimes if I need to like reformat a for loop so that I'm not using a for each, but doing a more traditional like iteration over an index, I will just tell the AI, hey, rewrite this loop so that it's a traditional for loop instead of a for each loop. And it does that for me. So just like rote things like that are like boring and pretty standard to write. It improves the productivity quite a bit, and also makes programming a little bit more fun, because then I don't have to spend as much time doing all of that like boring stuff, you know? So I think it can be useful when deployed the right way, for sure. But yeah, in terms of like, I don't think it's quite at the point where it's going to, you know, like replace people just yet. Oops. Let's turn off the symmetry. I'm just trying to add like wood grain stuff in here. These should all be on the same line, because I think it would be like the same plank across. So I think whatever wood grain lines I add should just be aligned to give it the impression that, you know, there's a single wood plank going across. I think I need to move these ones up a little bit. I think that generally looks okay. I might move this one up. Oops. Move that one up. So now I got to figure out more of the shading here. Definitely got to figure out more of the shading, and then I have to draw an open version of it. Thanks for the answer. Makes sense. Lines up with what I had in mind. Yeah, you're welcome. Was curious how it worked in Godot 4, as I assume knowledge cutoff was way before 4.4. It does all right with Godot stuff. I mean, I'm using C#, which helps quite a bit. I'm not sure how the performance is on GD script, but it does a pretty good job of writing like Godot shaders, which is pretty good. The lamination line should be on the same line. Yeah, I think so. Do you think lecturer will notice if I play stream during the class? Yeah, I think if you, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, probably will be fine. Just crank the volume all the way up and unplug your headphones, and I don't think anyone will notice. No, I don't know. I was always goofing off in my college classes. I remember actually sitting in some of my classes and just like playing around with Godot and not really paying attention. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, let's just like, I don't know how to do this. Is it gonna look all right if I like do this? Seems okay. Okay, and then I don't know if I should, let's see. I think the highlighting and whatnot is going to be the most difficult parts. I'm actually wondering if I should make this mostly that color and then do some like shadows and stuff like this. Try to make it look a little bit more rough. And then I could maybe just make a little bit of shininess in here. I think that looks pretty good actually. Maybe I'll do the same over here. Make the hardware just a slightly different color. I think that'll work. Yeah, we'll see. You've had zero success trying to get any input in making a custom engine. Wow. Yeah, it's hit or miss for sure. It's definitely hit or miss. I'll share the subjects I learned this lesson. Awesome. External boot is turned off. No games for me. Oh no. Did you do all the art for Gunforged? I did, yes. I did all of the art for Gunforged with the exception of... I used some for the input key art. So like where it says press E to do X or whatever. Those little key things. I took those from like a free to use like input icon pack. And I just changed the colors and the font on it. But yeah, otherwise all of the entities were drawn by me by hand. Oh, this is going to be rough. That does not look good at all. How are we going to do this? What happens if I just do... I'm just playing around here. I know this is not going to look that great, but... that actually doesn't look bad. That actually does not look bad at all. I'm just going to fill this in and just kind of see what this looks like. Not entirely sure this is going to look that great, but we shall see. I don't think that looks terrible, actually. Oops. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Let's see. Cool. What is a floor 18 gator? Do you mean Kenny pack? No, I did not use a Kenny pack for it, no. It was just a random thing off of itch.io that I used. Just a random thing off of itch.io, as one does. Itch.io is actually a pretty good place to get things like art assets and what else? Sound effects and all that stuff. Actually works pretty good. So I definitely recommend considering getting things from itch.io. I think I might make these highlights a little bit thicker there. Yeah. We're getting there slowly but surely. Do the same over here. Yeah, I think that looks all right. I need to copy what's over here over to here. Are those aligned? Let's see. The answer is no. All right, now they're aligned. These ones are also not aligned. I think this is turning out decent. Oops. Wonder if I should do... I should probably do rivets along the bottom as well for consistency here. Nice. That seems pretty good. If I just do this real quick. Yeah, I think it looks okay. Now the question is... should I add these like red highlights in here? Is that going to be too much? Is that going to be too much? I don't think so. I think that actually adds a little bit of sort of like a metallic impression to those... I don't know what they would call them, like the iron bars. The reinforcements. Oh, here comes the cat. Are you hungry, cat? Do I want to do... I probably want to do highlights along this side as well. What do you want, cat? I'm streaming. I'm working. Yeah, I think this is turning out pretty good. All right. Hola! Here's the one. What do you want? What do you want? Say hi to everyone. Okay. Hello, Aniran. Welcome. Godot Wild Jam 81 starts in just under 6 hours. I'm very anxious. How long is that Wild Jam? And also, do you know the theme yet or no? You have a team? Oh, interesting. You'll have to let me know how that goes. Yeah. Yeah, look, he's got friends. He had a friend once. Randos from a team up channel. Ooh, party up group. Game Jam Pug. Looks good, now open it. Well, I'm not quite done with it just yet. I'm going to add some more detail. Although I do think it looks pretty good, actually. I think I could probably do the opening up relatively soon. I think just here I probably need some more. One little trick that you can use sometimes is if you want to make it look like there's a pock mark in something, you could do the base color here with like a highlight color just underneath it. And if you zoom out enough, it almost looks like there's just like a gash in it, you know what I mean? I think that's a pretty effective way, and I might do that here as well. Or maybe... yeah, something like that. Make these less uniform so that they look a little bit more weathered, I guess. What do you want, cat? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think that looks all right. There's, oops, what is going on in here? Now, I wonder if I can make this look a little bit more weathered by just adding in some black pixels in here randomly. Ooh, yeah. That looks good. So I think the thing is, like, that I'm learning here is that you just don't want to have, like, super straight, unbroken lines here. I think you can get away with just, like, doubling up the lines a little bit here. And that just makes it look, yeah, just a little bit more beaten up, like it's been thrown around a bunch. Like it's been thrown around a bunch. Oops. Okay, and then I'll do that where else? Actually, I think that's probably fine. I mean, I could do it on the outside too. Yeah, so I could do it here. And maybe along the bottom just a little bit. Okay. Cute Bingus, thank you. Your cat must not be feeling well. All his hair fell off. Yeah. Yes, he's the Walter White of cats. 9 days, the theme is announced at 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, gotcha. 9 days. Interesting. How would you rate your enjoyment of the art making process versus coding? Well, it depends on how well the art is going. I do not enjoy the art if I'm really struggling with it, and if it's flowing smoothly, then I enjoy it a lot. But generally speaking, probably I enjoy the coding more. Just because it's more in my wheelhouse and I'm better at getting the things done that I want to get done in programming, but they're definitely different skill sets, and sometimes I really don't feel like coding up anything, so I'll do some art, and then other times I really don't feel like doing art, so I'll do some coding. So it's nice to just flip around a bunch, you know? It's nice to just flip around a bunch. So I think this looks okay. The one thing that's bothering me just a little bit, though, is how flat this whole region looks. And I almost wonder if I could do the same thing that I'm doing, where I just take this and I just make it even more pocked like that, since it's wood. And if I do that, I might make it look like the boards are kind of... Yeah, I think that looks fine. Make it almost look like those are the ends of the boards, you know? So if I just kind of do that kind of thing here, just all the way down. I think that that's just going to add a little bit more depth to it. Now up here, I wonder if like a dither would work. I'm not that good at dithers, but I'm not sure that I like that. I wonder if I just did the same thing that I've been doing. If I just take this, what does this look like if I just break that up a little bit? Yeah, that looks better. Okay, I don't want to spend an inordinate amount of time on this chest, but I do think that this is definitely helping. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue with that for a second. Up here, I'll do a little bit of... Yeah, I think that's fine, honestly. So I'll just do the same thing down here. The nice thing about pixel art too is like once you figure out a couple of shapes that work, you can just repeat those shapes. So like this shape right here, this 3 down and 1 in the middle, I'm using that in a bunch of places for that line segment and it works. It's just like, you just don't want to make them too close together so that the viewer notices the pattern. But other than that, see, I actually just did it with that. So one quick fix is just to remove one of them from either the top or the bottom. And there you go. So the interesting thing about pixel art that I'm learning is that it's mostly just about giving, well, it's basically entirely about just giving the viewer the right impression. You don't need to necessarily worry about it looking quote unquote correct. The pixel art is correct when it gives the viewer the impression that you're trying to give them. So if I want to make the chest look weathered, then whatever I can do that gives that impression is correct, right? I had a professor in college said one thing that always stuck with me with respect to like, we were doing 3D work at the time. And he said, if it looks correct, it is correct. And obviously you can find like you can have your nitpicks with that statement. But I think as a general rule, it's like when you're doing graphics and stuff, it's like, yeah, if it looks correct, it is correct. Okay. So I think this actually turned out pretty good. Oh, I just want to add some little imperfections there. Cool. All right, there's our weathered chest. I may tweak some more things here, but for the most part, I think it's okay. So now what I'm going to do is... Azir, you're being annoying. Go lay down. He's just sitting behind me meowing a bunch. Oh, goodness. Actually, do I want that? No, I don't want that to be highlighted in there. There we go. So I'm just filling in all these gaps here. Sweet. So we need to make an open version of this chest now. Oh, goodness. How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? So chest closed. Let's duplicate. How is this actually gonna look? That's a good question. What is going on? Why am I not allowed to? Oh, it's... Yeah, okay. There we go. I'm kind of just trying to figure out if I can cheese this in a certain way. Can I cheese it? I think if it's open, it would have a flat top, right? If it's open, it would have a flat top. Honestly, yeah, I wonder if I just take this, I'm just gonna quickly highlight this here for myself. I'm not gonna do like a whole animation, I just think, yeah, that's probably gonna work. Anyway, finally reached the point where we're gonna be designing the first level in a grid puzzle game. Oh, nice, yeah. Very nice, very nice. Pog morning to you as well, Sanzo. Hello, Artem. Welcome back. I got a question. Is there a way to make an animator player a component, or should I use inheritance for that? I'd like to have animations I'd share in between my enemies. Yeah, sharing animations is something that I haven't figured out a good way to do in Godot. In order to share an animation, you basically need to, I think, just have the same scene structure. And so inheritance might be better in that case. So have a base enemy with all the animations and then you inherit. I don't know if there's a better way to do it, because the only other way to do it would be to save the animation as like an animation resource and then make sure that when you set up a new enemy, it has all of the same node structure. But if you're trying to enforce the same node structure, then you might as well just use inheritance. So yeah, like making animations reusable is a very tricky thing in Godot. I think the best bet would be to use inheritance. So maybe make a minimal scene. What I would do maybe is if I needed to share animations between enemies, I would make a very minimal scene that contains all of the node structure that is required for the enemy animation and nothing else. So I would still try to maximize the composition-based design while also enforcing that tiny amount of node structure for animations. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really figured out a good way of sharing animations. That's why I kind of like using tweens and stuff. But what's up, Arion? Good to see you. Welcome back. Good advice, flip around a bunch. Yeah, I think so. Lurking still, Neozoid. Thank you, thank you. Hello, Pablo. Here from Argentina. I would like to learn Godot someday. Well, yeah. I mean, you can just pick it up. It's very easy. I mean, it's not very easy. There's a lot of resources available, and it's free to use, so yeah, might as well get started. What are you waiting for? Welcome, Pablo. It's good to have you. Imagine this. The inside would probably be a lot more darker in color, but have outlines that indicate the outer constructions like locks and pads and whatever. Yeah, I think so. So what I'm going to try to do is just make this dark here. And yeah, we'll see. You think it's better to make animations in A-Sprite or just export them as A-Sprite sheets and use the animated sprite Godot? Well, you do have to export them as A-Sprite as sheets. So I don't understand the question. If you make frame-by-frame animations in A-Sprite, you're going to have to play those frames some way in the editor, and the typical way I would do it is, yeah, use an animated sprite with a sprite sheet. You can also use the animation player and just change the texture. But yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, not the whole animation. Yeah, so I'm just going to... I'll play some kind of like in-engine or in-game animation, like a bounce or a shake or something, to give it the impression of opening. But yeah, I'm not going to animate this frame by frame. It's just going to have an open version and a closed version. And then I'll try to mask the opening with some effects and whatnot. Animation tree and animation player as a base abstract class might work. It might, yeah. Thank you, Sensei. You're welcome. Padawan. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the issue a lot of people have with Godot is learning both GUI and coding together is a bit of an issue. Once you get a bit used to one aspect, you might want to go for the other part. Yeah, I agree. Like, if you're new to programming, getting into games first is difficult because you're dealing with two learning curves at once. You're dealing with the learning curve of learning how to program, but then doing programming in a game dev specific way and learning how to use the engine and its APIs. That's just like a lot to learn at once. There's a lot to wrap your head around. So generally speaking, I think it's easier to go into game development with an engine when you already have programming experience. But that said, there are a lot of people who learn how to program because they want to make games, and so they just do it all at once. As a Godot newbie, I thought I could import... you thought you could import graphics interchange formats directly? I don't think so, yeah. I think everything has to be like a sprite sheet or a sprite sequence. Although maybe, I don't know, I haven't checked support for importing that. Hello. Okay, the cat is bothering me because he's very hungry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2-minute break a little bit early today and go feed the cat so he stops annoying me. And in the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. And when I get back, we will draw this up and hopefully we can start adding this to the game. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll be right back in just 2 minutes. All right, thank you for your patience, everybody. Sorry, I'm still dealing with this cat saga. He requires a lot of attention. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, welcome back to me, and let's go ahead and get started on this open art here. Do you pronounce it GIF or GIF? I pronounce it, yeah, graphics interchange format to annoy everyone. Feed the cat. Yes, the cat demands blood. Absolutely. When I had a dog, he never annoyed me for anything, but now that I own cats, they do annoy me a lot for food. Coincidence? I think not. Yeah, cats are very assertive. If you remember, I mentioned deterministic RNG in the case you need seeds. Do you know how Godot RNG class works? Because it seems vague about whether it's deterministic or not, depending on how you call it. Yeah, I mean, I think just everything you call in RNG, it uses the initial seed, and then everything that you call inside of that RNG or on that RNG object just like, advances the algorithm. So whether you're calling rand float or I don't actually know what's all there, but yeah, I think just as long as you configure the seed and you call the RNG in a consistent way, then yeah, it should be fine. But I'll let you know as I start, because I want to add seeded runs to this. So I'll do plenty of testing on that and just make sure. The cat is happy now. Yes, cats are our master, really. Will you be using the Godot mono build? Yeah, I'm using the Godot mono build right now. Welcome to the stream, by the way, DG Temp. All right, let's see if I can get this to work. I have a feeling this is going to be a disaster, but we're going to find out, aren't we? Okay, done. Just kidding. All right, so let's do maybe something like this. We are going to try to figure this out. Has anyone played No Rest for the Wicked? I find myself very much addicted to that game right now. Which is bad because I have work to do. Oops, I did something wrong. There we go. Oops. Actually, that doesn't look bad. I think what I would probably do is just add the chest open top probably needs to be almost wondering if I need like, yeah, something like that. Do I need something like that? That looks kind of fine, actually. Is it better to use C# and Godot, or is it better to use GDScript? I mean, it's all personal preference. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you want to do web exports, then you should use GDScript for sure. But if it doesn't matter, if web builds don't matter, then you just use whatever is most comfortable for you. I use C# just because it's I like the structure and the static typing, interfaces, abstract classes, all that kind of thing. Why Godot mono, no web export? I don't know. Godot WildJam requires either web export or Windows plus Linux plus Mac OS. So I set up and succeeded with making a CI/CD if you want the GitHub YAML for it. Well, it's interesting because I actually wrote a GitHub export Godot or a Godot export GitHub action that's publicly available. I haven't actually maintained it in a while, and I had issues. I could not get CI/CD builds of Gunforged working correctly ever since the upgrade to Godot 4. So I'm not actually sure, you know, what's going on there. But yeah, I wrote this Godot export thing. It's just it's available on like the public registry of actions, and it's basically just a compiled you know, JS file. So it's all written in JS, but it's got a bunch of options and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I haven't gotten it to work with Godot 4 projects. So I don't know what's going on there, and I haven't really spent any time investigating. But thank you for offering, Christopher. You know what I might do is I might just switch to a pure YAML GitHub workflow and have the AI write it. Has to do with .NET files, I think, or something like that. Basically something about the entry point for programs. Not sure how Unity bypasses that, or if it bypasses that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details. Hello, Rin. Welcome back. Good to see you again. You have what, Craig? Also, give me just 1 second here. All right, I'm back. So actually, I think that this actually kind of looks good. I wonder if I can give the impression of... Let's do this. Can I give the impression of... Goodness, the cat is going crazy. So those would be like the iron bars that are in the back. Those are not actually perfectly aligned, so probably need to move that one over. Move this one over as well. Are these aligned? Goodness gracious. Actually, that looks pretty good. Nice. So these, what I can do is I can actually highlight them like normal to give the impression of metal here, I think. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing. Cool. Do I want to do some kind of dithering here? Is that going to look all right or no? It might look okay, actually. I should create a custom brush for this. Oh well, I'm not that sophisticated, I suppose. I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm gonna just do the same thing that I did before, which is just add some general marks to make it less uniform. I wonder if I should also, ooh, I should also do that here. Line these up with this one. Actually a little bit wider, so I should probably shrink that down a little bit, at least on that instance there. Yep, and then we'll do it over here as well. I think that's fine, and then I probably will highlight here. Still need to make it look like wood. That side looks a little bit weird being like that. So I wonder if I should, I'm gonna move this inward a little bit more. I think the edge was just too thin there. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So move this entire thing over a little bit. Oh, I messed up. Oh, shoot. What in the world? We are performing surgery. Oh wait, did I not move that over far enough? I'm lost. Oh no, that's fine. These need to be shortened though. Okay. I just flubbed up so much of that, but it's fine. It works. Okay, all right. Game looks good, but I've been too into playing Voidigo right now. Oh yeah. Voidigo was an inspiration for Gunforge for sure. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, there you go. I didn't even read the next one. Is this A-Sprite? It is, fanfic lover. Do you fully flesh out your game idea or just make a proof of concept and sort of wing it? Yeah, I've never been big into like sitting down and writing like a game design document or anything. I just don't, like, for me, the game design document stuff is just not useful because it's like, it's impossible for me to plan out how a game feels or plays on a piece of paper. So what I do is I start with like just the core idea. Like for this one, I want there to be auto battler card mechanics, and then I just go from there, you know. And of course I know that I'm making a roguelike, so then it's like, well, obviously I'm gonna have like upgrade opportunities and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't really plan things out too far in advance. It's easier for me to just look at it and be like, okay, what could I add next to this game that would make it more fun? But, you know. You asked if we played No Rest for the Wicked. Oh, yes. Oh, I see. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot. So you do like No Rest for the Wicked. Yeah, I was not enjoying it for the first couple hours that I played it. I actually was having a miserable experience, but I think that was before they deployed all the hot fixes for the most recent updates, and now I'm having like a lot of fun with it. There are still some things that I'm annoyed by in that game, No Rest for the Wicked, but generally speaking, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Show the bottom of the top lock. Show the bottom of the top lock. Right in the middle. So this one here. How much would you say you learning C is useful in becoming a better programmer? Well, I don't know C. I'm just going to say I don't know C. So the only time I've ever used C was in like one class in college, and I refuse to touch it or C++ ever again. I'm sorry, I'm not that kind of programmer. Give me my garbage collection, give me my nice syntactic sugar. Like, I don't want to manage memory myself. No, I don't want it. Really cool trick you just used for the open chest, thank you. C# is what I mostly use, yeah. I mean, I think probably learning C and knowing how C works probably does make you a better developer, but that doesn't mean you can't be a good developer if you don't know C, you know? Would you ever do a tutorial on how to make a simple game from scratch, step by step? Well, that's what my courses are. My GD script, my Udemy courses are that exactly. So we start with a blank project, and then at the end you have like a complete simple game. So the courses show the entire process of making a game from scratch, step by step, start to finish. Now they're not games that you can just throw on Steam and be immediately profitable. They're very simple, but they're functional games with functional upgrades and gameplay loops and all that stuff. Yeah, that's the problem with like free tutorials, is like they're just piecemeal, but like I think that's what is nice about my courses. I have the basics of programming language knowledge and trying to get better at, well, designing algorithms and solutions, more the computational thinking kind of thing. Yeah, and you can do that without C. I think C is more useful for like if you want to become good at like knowing the technicals of how compilers work and how memory management works and all that stuff. Like, if you want to get into the weeds of like how to make things super performant and manage the memory well, then yeah, C is a good environment to do that in. But, you know, I'm kind of the opinion that, you know, computers are so powerful, memory is so cheap that it's like you can waste, you know, hundreds of thousands of CPU cycles without issue. And you can waste like 3 gigabytes of RAM if you want, and no one's going to notice. I'm very much spoiled in that sense. Everyone complains about like, oh, Electron apps, they use like 300 megabytes of memory. It's like, I don't care. I have 32 gigs of memory. An app could use 10 gigs for all I care. Like, it's there for a reason. Like, use it. You know? I guess I don't understand this fascination with, we have to conserve, like CPU cycles I understand, because the more energy you pump through a CPU, especially on battery powered devices, the more energy you consume, right? And so it is in the interest of people, especially designing for mobile, to minimize the CPU cycles and hence the memory or the energy usage for their devices. But, you know, like, this is why I think this is why ARM largely became popular. This is why Apple designed their own chips is they just redesigned the chip to be more energy efficient from the get-go, so that developers don't have the onus of like conserving CPU cycles, right? So anyway, that's just my opinion. Obviously, there are still situations where high performance is necessary, but in a game dev situation, like for 2D games that I'm making, it's like I could do things in the dumbest way possible at every step of the way, and most of the time that's not going to have any noticeable performance impact. Anyway, that's a rant. Is there a link handy? Yeah, they're in the description below. What are you doing? What are you doing? Lead code. Yeah, lead code is good. Hello, K-Clouds. C was recommended because it didn't have any built-in data structures, so you need to design even those from scratch. Yeah, like I said, if you want to learn the technicals of how data structures work and all that stuff, C is a great choice. But if you just want to make a functional application or a game, then yeah. You can live your life not needing to know about C or C++. C# is not going away anytime soon, yeah. Everything is using Electron now means half of my 32 gig is on a day baseline. But you still have half unutilized, right? Like, I guess where I would be annoyed is like, oh, 30 gigs of my system data is being used. But if you still got half of your quota available, then it's like, I don't think it's necessarily a problem, you know? Actually, I wonder how much memory is being used right now. I'm at half of my memory usage right now, yeah. Brave is using 2 gigabytes. OBS is using just about 2 gigabytes. Visual Studio Code is 1.5 gigabytes. I just realized I had your course for a couple years now. I put 2 and 2 together. Awesome. Welcome, Blake. Yeah, I get a lot of people who are like, wait, you're the one who made that course? So that's like, I guess a lot of people are discovering it organically, which is cool. Anyway, strong opinions about memory management aside, let's get back into doing this. This part, the only part that looks weird, well, it's not the only part that looks weird, I guess. I'm gonna actually duplicate both of these. Actually, and even better, I'm just gonna commit what I have. This is turning into a purely art stream, which I guess is interesting, but this is one of the more complex pieces of art that I've done in the game so far. No, I guess the shop was kind of like that. Anyway. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to modify this a little bit. Get rid of those. This lock here looks weird, so what I might do is take, I don't remember who suggested this in the chat, but take the lock out of there. Yeah, take the lock out of there and then put it in the open section. So take this, oh, I don't remember how wide it was. That's okay. 15 pixels wide. So if I take this, 15 pixels, oops. Okay, so it's not going to be perfectly centered, but that's okay. So there's the lock. Yeah, that'll work. I should group these things together. Create group. So here's it closed, and then boom, open up. Okay, closed. Gee dang it. Closed. Open. Closed. Open. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. Okay, well, it's fine. I guess these clasps here should also have... Actually, I wonder if I should do... Let me try this, actually. Chest open bottom. I wonder if I should just take this. Oh, you know what I did wrong? Yeah. Chest open bottom. Copy this, or cut this out. Paste it here. Rotate it. Get rid of all these things. I might shrink it down just a little bit too. Oops, that's not right. And then maybe I can do like a little... Actually, don't know. I don't know, just something like that, I suppose. Chest open top. There we go. Kerblam. That'll work. How are we feeling about that? Is that looking all right? I think it's fine. So I've tried to like take all the hardware from the lid and just like replicate it at the top there. I hope that works all right. I'm almost tempted to cut this part off. Make it, yeah, that looks better to me. So there's like a 2 pixel wide gap here now. Yeah, that looks much better to me. Cool. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. Chest open top. Right, so I just need to outline this now. Okay. I think that'll work, and I'll play some kind of animation when it opens so that it's not just like a static thing, you know? I can't run some games without having to intentionally close other apps. Oh, really? I've never had that problem. I have 32 gigs of RAM and I just leave. Maybe I am having a performance impact and not noticing it. Or maybe the games that I'm playing aren't that RAM intensive. When did you see the lock on the top part? What do you mean on the top part? That is the top part, isn't it? Hello, Jackie. Could you leave a like? Let's help this developer who's teaching us. We are 54 people and only 14 likes. Yes, that's right. You must like the stream or you will be uninvited from all future streams. I appreciate it, Caperni. Wait, is your name Pablo? I forgot. Or is that somebody else in the chat? Oh yeah, Pablo. What is this game about? This is a collectible card game, roguelike auto battler with a alchemy / medieval science / necromancy theme, where the hook of the game is that you can alchemize different cards together to create new and more powerful cards. So basically, it's an auto battler in the vein of like Backpack Heroes or The Bazaar, but it's wrapped in a roguelike formula, and it also has certain mechanics that allow you to create really powerful and really unique cards. So that's the idea. And maybe we'll get to see some of the gameplay here in a second. Hello, Billy. Welcome. Look up a treasure chest for reference real quick. I think there should be a part of the lock on the bottom and on the top. It's what seals the chest shut. Might be getting nitpicky, though. Yeah, oh, I see what you're saying. There needs to be like a bracket here, or the bottom lock part needs to remain. I see. I see what you're saying. I might just be able to do this. I think that basically fixes it. And if I just do... There we go. How's that? I think that'll work. So yeah, so it's almost like, I don't know if this is technically how it works, but so this part stays attached to the top and then this part stays attached to the bottom. I still don't know if that's like the real way that it works, but I think that definitely creates a better impression there. Hello, I'm in a game jam using Godot and kind of in a haze now. Help. Ooh, a haze doesn't sound good. Sounds good. Rookie tookie. Gonna use some of your techniques to do this. Well, let me know how it goes. Hope it works. I don't know what techniques you're talking about, like my secret techniques. Perfect. Okay, good. Yeah, I think I got it. Do you have any art background or just learn from making for games? I have been inspired to make something, but my art skills are null and IDK had to learn. Yeah, so yeah, the reason I learned art is because I wanted to make art for my own games. It's kind of hard to be a solo developer if you can't produce art and you don't have money to hire an artist. So that's basically why I learned, and I just learned by just practicing pixel art. I watched a lot of pixel art critique videos on YouTube, lots of pixel art tutorial videos on YouTube. People like Adam Eunice, Pixel Pete, and there was a couple others that I used to watch quite a bit. So really just studying the critique videos were particularly helpful that Pixel Pete did, because it would basically was like the code review video that I did and am doing, he would get a user or a viewer submitted piece of art, and then he would critique it. He would comment on the color, he would comment on the pixel placement and all that stuff. And so just watching somebody who's a master at pixel art critique somebody else's art is a great way of learning what not to do and what to do. So that was super helpful. And then yeah, just learning a little bit about color theory, and of course just practicing. So taking those things and actually trying to draw different things. Oh my gosh, there's gonna be a lawnmower right outside my window now. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I learned. And I think you can get relatively good at pixel art, or at least decent at pixel art, if you yeah, if you just stick with it and just practice regularly, which I know is easier said than done. Also, I'm noticing that I didn't add little chunkies here, so I'm gonna do that real quick. I didn't add little chunkies on this side of the art. That's the technical name. They're called little chunkies. So I'm going to need to copy. I won't need to copy the ones on the top, but I will need to copy the ones on the bottom. Okay, so now I need to do this. Copy, paste, copy, oops, paste, copy, paste. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, there's one other thing that I need to do here, which is I need to add a highlight. So duplicate this, chest, highlight. There's our chest highlight now. All right. Goodness. That was quite an ordeal. Quite an ordeal. I've been working in LibreSprite, the free fork of Asprite. Nice. I'm pretty sure you learn from nothing as well. You have to force yourself to learn and you'll gradually get better. Yeah, you just have to... You just kind of have to think, yep, I'm going to have to spend the next year or two just like trying pixel art with frequency, or art generally, before you, I mean, that's when you'll see improvement. And you also have to make like a dedicated effort to, you know, getting better, which sounds obvious, but like you actually need to look at your art and like critically examine it and say like, why does my art not look like this art from somebody else? Like, what are they doing different than I'm not? And when you make a conscious effort to do that, you'll notice like certain pixels are done in certain ways and certain colors are used in certain ways, and like lines are drawn slightly differently, and like you can actually notice like the individual pixels that people use to create the impression of things. And something else you can do is you can take someone's pixel art that you like and just like play with it, like remove pixels or like remove colors or whatever. And you can see how the pixel art kind of like changes depending on whether you're changing individual pixels. So those are all good exercises, I think. Mostly your managers and composition. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right, so we've got a chest now. And let's go ahead and export all this stuff. Scripts, GASPI, export layers. We're gonna get rid of this layer groups here, save sprite, boom. Exported 4 layers. Yeah, so this is a nightmare here. This is just something I was sketching up. Goodbye. Okay, let's do just a plain old control node. Add child node sprite 2D, add child node node 2D. Put the sprite 2D here. Assets, UI, combat victory, chest. Oh. There's our chest. Don't center it, that's fine. There's our chest highlight. Chest open top. I guess I could have exported that as one unit, but that's okay. Is that correct? No, I think it's supposed to look like that, right? Yeah. Ooh, that's not good. What is that? Oh, I forgot to update the outlines here. Right. Gotta do these outlines real quick because I messed them up. Need a quick tut on terrain tile set. See you for now. Good luck, Dragon Apple. Now I might do this. Put those under there. Cool. So now we've got chest, chest open, chest, chest open. Okay. Let's add a script to this. Also, actually, this is what? 111 by 86. Oops, wrong one. Copy value. We want to put this on the chest container here. Paste value. There we go. Okay. Oh. Apologies if you can hear that lawnmower there. scripts UI combat victory, game.ui.combat victory. Oh my gosh, I can't type. Node private control chest container. Node private sprite 2D chest highlight. Node private sprite or node 2D. I guess it's a sprite 2D. Node private node 2D chest open. Public override void ready. Chest container dot mouse entered plus equals on mouse entered. Chest container dot mouse exited on mouse exited. Chest highlight dot visible is equal to false. Chest open dot visible is equal to false. Chest dot visible is equal to true. Private void on mouse entered. Private void on mouse exited. Private bool is open. GUI input plus equals on GUI input. On GUI input, we're going to take that input event here. If input event dot is action pressed, game constants dot action click left and not is open. We're going to create a new method, private void play open. And this is where the animations would go, but for now we're just going to say chest dot visible is equal to false. Chest open dot visible is equal to true. Is open equals true. Play open. And let's see if that works. So we'll just run this scene. Good music, thank you. It's just a royalty-free music. I used to play Lo-Fi Girl on the stream, but then I started getting hit with a bunch of copyright claims, even though it used to be the case that the Lo-Fi Girl stream, you could use that in your streams without problems, but I guess they didn't like the VODs or whatever. So anyway, I switched to like just a royalty-free, YouTube video, and I think it works. Just need some kind of background music to fill the space. That's all, Sorry I'm at work, but I really appreciate your answer. At least there's hope that I can make something at least palpable. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's a reasonable goal to strive towards. Like, I think, I would say competency, right? Like, you can definitely become competent at art. Does that mean that your art style is going to stand out? Does that mean that people are going to hail your art as like masterpieces? No, probably not. But if you make the art serviceable and coherent and competent, then that's all you need to do to make a game, right? It's not, you don't need to be the best artist. You just need to make something that looks competent. That's it. I think with games, the luck be a landlord doing well, that makes me feel better about all that too. Yeah, and the thing is, like, you can have art that's like bad from a number of standpoints, like, oh, the shapes are kind of weird that you're drawing, or like, but the real thing, like the way that art works together is like you have to have a consistent style and a consistent use of colors. And if you use color theory well, like complementary colors and shadows and highlights and stuff, like that just goes a long way. Like the consistency is almost more important than what the art actually looks like. Because you can look at a game like Undertale 2, which is like the art is intentionally bad, but it all matches, right? It's all consistent. And so it fits. It all fits together. So yeah, I think that there's like the only hard and fast rule, I guess, for video game art is like the style just has to be consistent. Like a game doesn't really look bad unless you're just like mixing and matching a bunch of styles so there's no like unifying artistic vision. That's when things like kind of, in my opinion, look bad. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Okay, so this is working, except the click is not working. Why is that not working? Oh, is it because this needs to be ignore here? Let's try that. Why is that not working? Why is that not working? If input event is action press, game constants, action, click left. Oh, this is wrong. This needs to be chest container. We'll call it on chest, GUI input. Okay, that'll work. Cruelty squad works as it damages your corneas to look at. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, I think that looks pretty good actually. So if I mask this with like some particles and like a bunch of shake and maybe like a camera shake too, I think that's gonna look fine. Even though it's an instantaneous change. As long as I add some weight and some oomph behind it, it'll look like you're just like kicking open the chest with a ton of force. And so it doesn't necessarily need to have like a couple of frames of animation. So initial setup of chest. So the one thing that I'm interested in doing before I go too deep on the animations is I actually need to get it to display the rewards correctly. So So that's the big thing to consider now. So the combat victory screen, maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll get that loop working first and then figure out how to tie the rewards to it. Okay, give me just a second. I'm gonna take another quick break, and when I come back, we'll go maybe a little bit longer this stream because I wanna get a lot of this stuff in place and working. So I might go a little bit extra today, but I need another quick break. So in the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back to me. Snupbill, yummers. Welcome back, Snupbill. Always good to see you. No dono today. Spend it all on spaghetti, so it's yummers. It's so yummers. That's totally fine. Thank you, Snupbill, for your previous donations, and thank you for being here. Always good to see you. All right. Your super chats go a long way to funding my McDonald's habit, so very much appreciated. Anyway, so yeah, let's get this actually working. So the first thing to do is I need to go into my game UI. I need to go into my game UI. Public combat victory container, create combat victory container. Okay, then I go to my game UI scene. I need to load that into the preloader here. Combat victory container. Boom. So there's that. Now I need to go to my run manager here, and I need to do a couple of things. State combat preparation, state booster. I think this is done down here. Yeah. So instead of the state booster, I wonder if I should keep the state booster or change it. In any event, state combat reward, enter state combat reward. Private void, enter state combat reward. So enter state combat reward. This is where I need a new combat reward event state machine, right? Yeah. So let's do this. Just trying to figure out what a good one to copy is. That one. Combat reward state machine. Paste it here. Cool. So we got state init, enter state init. So we'll do this. Enter state cleanup. Yeah, okay. Private void, or no, not private void, combat victory container. Combat victory container is equal to context.gameui.create combat victory container. We'll need to set some kind of reward in here, I think. I will probably need to pass in the combat reward as an argument in here. That's okay. State init. That's fine. Queue free that. Can't forget that. On event upgrade finished. I will need to replace this. Okay. So the combat reward state machine. So this should actually work now if I do this. So in my enter state combat reward, Oh, did I name this wrong? Event state machine. Okay, that should be it. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Private void on combat reward state machine finished. State machine.change state booster. So we're basically just replacing this change state. So this needs to be state combat reward. So yeah, now what I need to do is I need to pass in that combat reward. So the selected combat reward, which is chosen here, I'm going to need to pass that in. Combat reward event state machine. I'm going to pass in combat reward selected combat reward. So basically, because you select the reward, so when you select which combat encounter you want to do, that is paired with the rewards. But there's a couple of different states that the game goes through before you actually get the reward. So the run manager here, which is sort of like the overall state machine for the whole like flow of the game, this run manager stores the combat reward here and needs to pass that in when this machine gets created, this state machine here. So I think what I need to do is the combat victory container, I need to do public void set combat reward or something like that. And I'm not going to do anything with this just yet, but I am going to stub it out. Combat victory container.set combat reward, selected combat reward. That should work. And then in here, when I create this state machine, I need to pass in selected combat reward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say selected combat reward. I'm going to set this to null in here. So basically I'll set it to null as soon as I can, just to prevent any issues where that value is hanging around. So I think that will work. So now we can go into the game here and we can see if I hooked everything up correctly. So what should happen is I should go into a combat. If I win that combat, I will see the chest be presented. And then that's basically it. There will be no way out of that chest state, but that's fine. I needed to redo this enchanting table too. Oh my gosh, I have so much work to do. I have so much work to do. I gotta make the new multiplayer course. I'll continue working on that, and it's just, ugh, lots to do. So drops artifacts, let's just do this one. This and this. Begin, let's auto-resolve. Auto-resolving doesn't work anymore. I wonder what happened. Or maybe all the combat doesn't work anymore. I must have broke something. We might be debugging here for a second. Let me see if I can just win against this guy here without doing anything. Ooh, wait, I'm gonna die. I should get rid of those artifacts. I'm gonna die again. Let's get rid of these. It's making it much harder to win. we'll speed it up so we don't have to sit through a lot of this. That worked. Ooh. That is a big chest. Did I really draw it that big? I guess I did. Oh, goodness. Anyway. Sorry, I'm just messing with the things. Wow, that is big. I guess that's okay, though. I'll see if I can make it work. I might have to redraw it or shrink it down a little bit. But why is that so far over, though? Oh, I think... There we go. It doesn't look too bad, I guess. So, click that. Boom, it opens. And then you'll get your reward here, your artifact selection. The blood currency will come out. Right now, there's no way to continue, though. How do I make an NPC? Do I use a character body 2D? Well, it depends on what you want the NPC to do. If you want the NPC to move, then yeah, you should use a character body 2D, I think. Yeah, you should definitely use a character body 2D if you want to make it move. I'm going to remove that and put this somewhere. Okay. Add victory chest to event flow. Okay, so I think that's good. So the next step then is to actually make that work. So basically filling out this class to add animations and everything. But this is the nice thing about the setup that I have going is that now I can isolate all this logic for that screen into this script here. And I don't have to worry about like coordinating animations elsewhere. So basically we'll just, whenever this play open is called, that's going to play those animations. It has to play in as well. So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. But that'll be it for the stream today. So I guess I did I didn't go much over actually. I was expecting that to take a lot longer, but anyway, the auto resolve is one thing that I need to fix, but I'll look into that later, I suppose. So yeah, that'll be it for the stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And thank you to the VOD watchers and lurkers out there. I know that you're out there. I know you like these streams. Again, I know everyone has probably heard this a million times, but for anyone that hasn't, Gunforged is available for sale. It's my first real commercial release as a full-time indie game developer. So if you want to support my work, you can purchase that and leave a review if you end up playing, and I very much appreciate that. I also have my Udemy courses available for sale. Those are also linked in the description below. And also subscribe to the channel because I have a new code review video coming out within the next week or so. I think you all liked the first code review video, and I think the next one is, I wouldn't say better, but I incorporated some of your feedback into it. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And I hope you all have a great weekend. I may stream tomorrow, I'm not sure, but hope you all have a good weekend. And I will see you on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, bye-bye, everyone.